I was talking this morning about the attitude of Sharia, Islamiyah, Islamic Sharia, about the death penalty. Because we believe that, unfortunately, people believe that the laws or the practical laws in Arab countries belongs to Sharia in this point. But I explained before that there is a lot of death penalty in dictatorships in the Middle East don't belong at all to Sharia. Don't belong at all to Sharia. Sharia only spoke about the death penalty in al-qisas, in the intention death. Even so, Sharia didn't say that this is obligatory punishment. No, Sharia didn't use at all the word of execution. Sharia didn't use al-i'dam, the item i'dam. They didn't use it at all. Sharia used al-qisas. What's the difference between al-qisas and al-i'dam? Al-i'dam, that means death by the, for example, by shanq, by khanq, by gharaq. This is death. But qisas, that means one of three options. The first one is to kill the crime. The second is to discuss with him and to accept the diya, that means money. The third, to forgive him. This is inside Islamic fiqh. I mentioned 14 tools, 14 methods in Islamic fiqh. How can we put the end of death penalty as a punishment? Death penalty as a punishment belongs to Islam in one situation only. This is the intention killing. But in the same time, we have 14 methods I explained during my speech. 14 methods, how can the judge avoid of death penalty? At the first, he has to ask for forgiveness. The second, he can ask for diya. The third, he cannot start this kind of court as a judge or as a government. They have no right to start. This kind of judgment has to start by the people, not by the government, not by the judge. The fourth one is Prophet Muhammad said, "Idra'ul hududa bil-shubuhat." What that means, you have to avoid death penalty. You have to avoid banishment. By any reason, by any simple reason, you can avoid the punishment. So the Islamic way to call for maybe harsh punishment, but to use with soft one. I told you, frankly, we have to separate 99% of the death penalty in the Arab world because of the dictatorship, not because of Sharia. But even the last reason, the reason of the intention death, yes, this is by Sharia, but even Sharia said you have more than one option. And he asked the government, he asked leaders, he asked the wise men to support the situation, to support resolve the problems without qisas. So I believe now we can, based on Sharia, based on fiqh, usul al-fiqh, because we have a lot of methods to develop your understanding and to support your understanding and to arrive to some situation to avoid this kind of death penalty from our laws. We can use Sharia to avoid death penalty. I explain everything and all resources in my book. I have 2 books in internet. You can arrive. The first one, it's named ضد الإعدام, against execution. This book, ضد الإعدام, you can find all Islamic resources to support the abolition of death penalty. The second one, it's named العقوبات الجسدية والكرامة الإنسانية. This book exactly, how can we develop our law to avoid any kind of body punishment, to arrive to reformal punishment.